Done, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Let us sing the school song Sabse Sundar. Please be seated.
Good evening. On behalf of the Lawrence School Lovedale, we welcome our chief guest, Admiral Philippos George Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Nau Sena Medal, parents of the prefects, guests, members of the staff and students to the investiture of the prefects for the year 2022 to 2023. The prefectorial system consists of a head boy, head girl, vice head boy, vice head girl, and house prefects who are given definite responsibilities and play a significant role in organizing numerous activities in the school and are recognized as young leaders of public opinion. They become synonymous with excellence, innovation, honor, integrity, and outstanding quality and service. Therefore, they shall go forth with indomitable house spirit to meet challenges of the future and be proud Laurentians forever. The headmaster, Mr. K. Prabhakaran Nair, will introduce the chief guest to the eminent gathering.
Good evening, students, teachers and parents. Admiral Philippos George Panamodil, Investiture Ceremony Medal and Nav Seva Medal is from the class of 82 at Lovedale, is an alumni of National Defence Academy. He retired from Indian Navy on 30th of April this year after an exceptional 36-year career. His late brother, Lieutenant Seaman George, is an OL from class of 76 and his sister Sarah is from the class of 79. His niece, Mariam Aib, is from the class of 2004. The Nat fighter plane near the ABC court is dedicated to the memory of his brother and other OLs who died in a plane crash while in service. A rotary wing pilot qualified on Sea King 42 B-C and Alert helicopters. He is commanded INAS 330, the aircraft carrier-borne ASW Sea King Squadron, and was commissioning commanding officer of Naval Air Station INS Shikhra at Mumbai. The flag officer has flown extensively during Operation Pavan in Sri Lanka in 1989 and Operation Restore Hope in Somalia in 1993. He has commanded the 1241 RE Covert INS Nashak, the missile covert INS Kirpan, and the guided missile frigate INS Brahmaputra, besides doing a tenure as executive officer of the guided missile destroyer INS Delhi. The officer was awarded Nav Sena Medal for his tenure in command of INS Brahmaputra. He has held key positions in the helm of naval aviation for the past decade. He was the principal director, aircraft acquisition. As a commander and on promotion to rear admiral, he served as assistant chief of naval staff at Delhi, followed by flag officer naval aviation at Goa. This has been a golden decade for naval aviation, which saw the induction of 12 Boeing P-8I aircraft, 45 MiG-29K fighters, 17 Hawk trainer aircraft, P-8I option clause, 16 advanced light and 8 Chetak helicopters, 12 Dorniers, 12 micro lights. During the last 4 years tenure as flag officer of naval aviation, Goa, he was responsible for aviation training, flight safety, aircraft, aircrew categorization, logistical support to naval aviation, as well as the 25 various ships and establishments in Goa. For his contribution to naval aviation, he was awarded Untitled Seva Medal by Honorable President of India in 2022, exactly 40 years after his late father, Air Marshal P.S. George, was awarded the same medal in 1982. Admiral Philippos has undergone staff course at Defence Service Staff College and Higher Air Command course at College of Air Warfare. He is postgraduate in Defence and Strategic Studies and holds MPhil in Political Studies. He is an alumnus of Royal College of Defence Studies, London, and attained MA in International Security and Strategy from King's College, London. A passionate aviator who flew regularly, including his last day in uniform, he undertook the very first landing on soon-to-be commissioned indigenous aircraft carrier in August 21. He is passionate about flying, swimming, diving, biking, rock music, and playing the guitar. Interestingly, he did a bungee jump as well last year. He is married to Priya, who has worked with him, the Concern India Foundation, supporting several NGOs. Their daughter, Rahel, a graduate from Lady Sriram College and a postgraduate from Asian College of Journalism, writes for the Indian Express. We welcome you on behalf of Lawrence School community, sir, and thank you for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion.
Now, we have the oath-taking ceremony of the head boy and the head girl. The headmaster will administer the oath of office to the head boy, J. Shivakumaran, and the head girl, Manjari Abhay Pansulkar.
Do you promise to maintain discipline, lead the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of our school?
I solemnly promise to maintain discipline, lead in the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of our school. I also promise to discharge my duties honestly and impartially.
By virtue of power vested in me as headmaster of the school, I appoint you the head boy and head girl for the session 2022-23.
The chief guest and the headmaster will confer the epaulets to the head boy and the head girl. The headmaster will administer the oath of office to the vice head boy Manan Singhal and the vice head girl Asmita Gottipati.
Do you promise to maintain discipline and lead in the right way and uphold the honor and good name of our school?
I solemnly promise to maintain discipline, lead in the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of our school. I also promise to discharge my duties honestly and impartially.
By virtue of power vested in me as headmaster of the school, I appoint you the vice head boy and vice head girl for the session 2022-23.
The headmaster, the deputy headmaster, and the bursar will confer the epaulets to the vice head boy and the vice head girl. We now have the oath-taking ceremony for the prefects of the 4 houses. The headmaster will administer the oath of office to the newly elected house prefects.
Do you promise to maintain the discipline, lead in the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of our school?
I solemnly promise to maintain discipline, lead in the right way, and uphold the honor and good name of our school. I also promise to discharge my duties honestly and impartially.
By virtue of power vested in me as headmaster of the school, I appoint you the prefects for the session 2022-23.
The headmaster, housemaster, and the housemistress of the respective houses and the mistress in charge of girls' school will confer the epaulets to the prefects of the 4 houses. Aravali House, Avyay K. Nambiar, Arpit Ravichandran, Sahana Sangavi, and Priyanka Lakshmi. Nilgiri House, Nithilan Arun, Anirudh Venkatesh Iyer, Palak Agarwal, and Tisha Saxena. Sumeru House, Devansh Patel, Vignesh G. Shankar, Moli Shah and Navya Shauri. Vindhya House, Siddhant Suraj, Rishabh De, Ragini Mimani and Tanvi Hemraj. We now invite our chief guest, Admiral Philippos George, to address the gathering.
Respected Headmaster Mr. K. Prabhakaran, Deputy Headmaster Mr. Rajan Narayan, Bursar Colonel Sudhakar Tota, members of the staff, all Laurentians, parents, students, and the newly sworn-in prefectorial body. I am privileged to be here for this solemn investiture ceremony at my alma mater, 40 years after I passed out of Lovedale. Thank you for finding me worthy of this singular honor, sir. My speech is applicable to the prefectorial body as well as to each one of you students seated here today. I shall endeavor to share certain leadership lessons that I have learned during my 36-year journey in the Navy that has taken me to 45 countries, besides my 4 years of training at the National Defense Academy and on training ships, which I hope will resonate with you. When I was one among 3 out of the 95 officers in my course to get promoted to the rank of Rear Admiral, I went and met my headmaster at Lovedale. My voice choked with emotion as I said, "Sir, whatever I am today is because of you." He looked at the deputy headmaster, shook his head sadly and said, "Sorry, son, we tried our best." At the outset, I would like to congratulate the newly appointed head girl, head boy, vice head girl, vice head boy, and the prefects. This selection is undoubtedly a result of years of hard work and excellence in the classroom, on the playing fields, and all other activities, coupled with your core values that make you worthy of this huge honor. Felicitations are in order to your teachers and justifiably proud parents as well, who have played a major role in shaping you into the fine young women and men you are today. To all the students in the large hall, in the years to come, there would be occasions when you are called upon to take on challenging positions that are of immense importance by the sheer magnitude of the difference you can make to the institution or organization when you assume the post. This is one of those times. Throughout your tenure in these positions, you have to ensure that you are doing justice to the faith reposed in you by the organization, and in this case, the staff and the students. The French have a phrase, noblesse oblige, that is, your position or status extends beyond mere entitlement and requires you to fulfill social responsibilities and to display the highest standards of integrity and character. The 20 of you are torchbearers of your batch. You will define how your class is remembered in the years to come. 40 years after I passed out from Lovedale, I am still proud to say that I am from Krishnadev Rao and Nirvana Mishra's batch, or Major General Vikram Singh and Rintu Matthews' batch. They were the head boy, head girl, vice head boy, and vice head girl of our batch. I remember that Rahul Vanchu was the head boy and Parvati Menon was the head girl when I joined Lovedale in 1973. You are role models for the entire school. Juniors would try to emulate the way you dress, speak, walk, and treat people. You will soon learn that do as I do works better than do as I say. Juniors will idolize and imitate you. Like I said, yes, I agree, it's tough being a rock star. Don't be defined by the stripes you wear, but by your character, your sense of fairness, integrity, and what you stand for. Ensure that your moral compass doesn't deviate from doing the right thing, ensuring you choose the harder right rather than the easier wrong every time. Colin Powell, a revered US general, rightly said, it's more important to be respected than to be liked. You will learn that respect has to be earned. Also, with great power comes great responsibility, as we learned from Spider-Man. Very early in life, you would learn huge leadership lessons which will stand you in good stead throughout your lives. You would need to implement what your headmaster and teachers direct you to do. There may be opposition from your classmates, disgruntlement from your juniors. However, it is your duty to implement decisions in the larger interest of the school. Be facilitators. Find ways to simplify and streamline things to make life easier and more efficient for the students that you represent. Cut out red tape and constantly find ways to do things more efficiently. Discuss, even disagree with your teachers in private, but once a decision is taken, it is your duty to implement it as though it were your decision. Praise in public, chastise in private. Take ownership of mistakes and pass on praise to your team. Never have an ego and always be approachable. Be good to people, especially those junior or weaker than you. Never be a yes man or woman, and never trust a yes man or woman. Always question the status quo. Just because something has been done in a particular way for years doesn't mean it's right. I didn't do anything. My last assignment for the 4 years before I retired from the Navy was that of the Flag Officer Naval Aviation. I had to inspect 12 air bases of the Navy and Coast Guard. During my first inspection, which was of the air base at Goa, the Navy's largest air station, I found a long line of cars following me. As I got down in each squadron or department, the senior officers in my team rushed to join me from their respective cars. The very next day, I switched to a bus along with my 20-member team. This was very efficient as we could discuss issues as we proceeded between departments. Also, the junior officers in each department saw us as down-to-earth people who wanted to focus on getting things done efficiently without any hype. This became the norm for all my inspections over the next 4 years. During the throes of the COVID pandemic, we took all precautions to reduce the spread of the virus. One of the measures I took was to de-hire 35 cars that were used by my senior officers to prevent them from being exposed to the drivers who drove tourists from all over the world in their off hours. I cycled to work for 2 years in my Rear Admiral uniform. This ensured there wasn't a single protest against my decision. We ensured that the cars were suitably hired by the unending stream of tourists. I would like to touch upon an uncomfortable topic, that is bullying. Physical assault of any form has no place in the civilized world. It is heartening to note that this no longer exists at Lovedale. I would sincerely urge the prefects and senior class to ensure that manhandling is completely removed from our school. It is demeaning and leaves the junior scarred for life in some cases. Back in the day, this was rampant, sadly, and there was this omerta-like code of silence where you never revealed the name of the perpetrator. People matter. Lovedale teaches us this from the day we join school. We learn to acknowledge and respect our cooks, servers, markers, lab assistants, and housekeeping staff. In your professional life, please ensure that you acknowledge each person's contribution to the organization, however humble it might be. We had these interesting names for each of our helpers in school. Boiler Kupu ensured we got hot water for our alternate day baths, while the bespectacled Kannadi Kupu was in the clothing store. Rameta was this foul-tempered Michelin star master chef who was constantly stirring magic potion in a huge cauldron. Augustine or Auga was this amazing fatherly bearer whose son later followed in his footsteps. CID Balan was the handyman in junior school who we were convinced was an undercover agent, watching every breath we took and every move we made in a constant sting operation that would do the police proud, earning him the CID moniker. Always remember, fortune favors the prepared mind, and fortune favors the brave. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst always. For any event or activity, go over all contingencies that might occur in your mind and always have a plan B. As a young officer on the bridge of several warships that I served on, I always wondered how the commanding officer was always the first to sight an approaching ship, aircraft, or developing weather phenomenon. It was only when I got to command 3 ships during my career that I realized that as the captain, you're overseeing everything in the ship's bridge as each officer and sailor went about plotting the ship's position, maneuvering the ship, or passing engine orders. Hence, you're not bogged down by a single activity and are able to see the big picture and observe things first. Develop this sixth sense or intuition in your line of work. On ships, this is called the seaman's eye. This skill needs to be constantly honed by watching and learning from your seniors or more experienced colleagues as you rise in an organization. Be decisive and bold. A good decision taken promptly is better than a perfect decision taken when it may be too late. Your painstakingly developed gut instinct will help you take the right decisions on most occasions. Be passionate and positive always. Positivity is contagious, but sadly so is negativity. As the maxim goes, trust but verify. Be a hands-on leader and be present wherever an activity is happening and contribute to its successful completion. Give every task your stamp of quality, like the Mercedes-Benz motto, which is placed on the factory shop floors, which reads, "The best or nothing." Be the best at what you do or whatever your core function is, especially if you're heading an organization. Be capable of undertaking any job you assign a subordinate. Take on the riskiest jobs yourself. I was privileged to undertake the very first landing on board the soon-to-be commissioned indigenous aircraft carrier built in Cochin Shipyard on controls of a Sea King helicopter in August 21. Please add to the 45,000 views on YouTube of the cockpit perspective of this landing. With this, I have the honor of being the only pilot to have operated from all 4 aircraft carriers of the Indian Navy. A great lesson I learned in school was loyalty. Loyalty to Sumero House and Lovedale went on to loyalty to Hunter Squadron and National Defense Academy. which thereafter translated into loyalty to each ship or squadron I served in. Most importantly, loyalty is a two-way street. Your team will be loyal to you only if they know that you actually care for them. In your professional life, it is important to treat each job you take on as an end in itself and not a means to an end. You will see that you will find great satisfaction in your work and you will achieve every success you aspire for. Teachings of Sun Tzu and Clausewitz are increasingly used in the corporate world as well. The first principle of war is selection and maintenance of aim. Be sure to be clear of what you want to achieve in life and how you intend on achieving it. On ships at sea in the olden days before the advent of the global positioning system, the officer of the watch would use a sextant to measure the angle of the sun by day and stars by twilight to determine the position of the ship. He then altered the course or the direction of the ship to ensure she reached her intended destination. Similarly, in life, from time to time, it is important for us to take stock of where we are and make course corrections to ensure we reach our intended goal. Always be hungry to learn as you go along. Keep preparing yourself for greater responsibilities. I used to always observe my commanding officers and admirals very closely to try and discern the special qualities they had that got them to where they were, and try to imbibe the aspects that resonated with my personality. You will soon develop your unique leadership style. Never give in is one of the best mottos you will ever come across. These three words will spur you on through life as you confront the myriad challenges you are bound to face. Never give in is your adrenaline shot as you force your heart, nerve, and sinew to serve your turn long after all have gone. As Rudyard Kipling beautifully articulated in his life-defining poem, If. Our motto has inspired me during life-threatening situations in Sri Lanka, Somalia, and many storms at sea or challenges while flying throughout my career in the Navy. Boys and girls of the class of 2022-23, support your head boy, head girl, and prefects. The US General George S. Patton of World War II fame said, "Lead, follow, or get out of the way." Remember, your time will come too to stand up and be counted. What each one of you share is the honor of being a Laurentian. This privilege comes with a huge responsibility. Be worthy of belonging to this 164-year-old institution that has produced some of the world's finest professors, doctors, engineers, a Booker Prize winner, leading industrialists and armed forces officers. Tucked away in the beautiful Blue Mountains, unsullied by the cutthroat competition of the so-called real world, we may be considered naive and idealistic. However, your character is forged in this beautiful institution that teaches us to stand up and face the storm, and to stand up for what is right, no matter what the odds. Qualities that are hard to come by and sometimes cost you dearly when you see that not everybody fights fair. However, at the eve of life's endeavor, you will see that it was worth the sacrifice, as you will always be remembered for your uncompromising values and for the contribution and your contribution to the organization you worked in. What's more, if you're lucky, you may even be invited as chief guest to the Investiture Ceremony at Lovedale. Success is a journey, not a destination. Learn to enjoy every moment of your journey. Choose a job you love, and you won't need to work a day in your life. If you aren't enjoying yourself, or if you aren't passionate about what you're doing, switch courses at college, switch jobs. You never know what works for you. Our classmate Farokh Chotia spent most of his time in the dark room of the camera club. He dropped out of college to pursue his passion and is today India's top glamour photographer. I, on the other hand, sadly pursued bookbinding, and hence, quite unsurprisingly, am not surrounded by supermodels. Sashi Reddy went to IIT Delhi, Stern School, New York, obtained a PhD from Wharton Business School, and built an IT empire. He is now a venture capitalist and supports several charities. Gopi Warrior is one of the senior most active environmental journalists in the country today. He has mentored over 50 environmental journalists from South Asia and is currently the editor of Mongabe India. Dr. Ashok Menon, a leading neurologist, chose to practice at the Little Flower Hospital, Angamali, where he serves the local community and is called upon from all over the country to assist with complex cases. Major General Vikram Singh, a fourth-generation officer, has just retired after a glorious career. His brother, Major General Vikram Singh, is still serving in the army. Each of our classmates has made a difference in their diverse fields of work. I'm sure this is the case with all batches. As the years go by, your definition of success will evolve and go way beyond your bank balance or your designation, qualification, or your corner office. Finally, your designation or rank and your qualifications are a mere prefix and suffix to your name. Work till you don't need to be introduced, or you have your own Wikipedia page. Do check out my page whenever you're totally bored and want some laughs. Develop hobbies that you're passionate about and always find time to pursue them. Whether it's swimming, reading, music, biking. If you want to, you will find time to pursue what you love. Music and reading are two hobbies that have added huge value and pleasure to my life and ensured I'm never bored. Give your life a soundtrack like the iPod advertisement urged us many years ago. The iPod was a device that played music pretty much like the gramophone. Once again, I would like to congratulate the newly appointed prefectorial body and wish you the very best for your tenure. To the class of 2022-23, all the very best. May all your dreams come true. I would like to specially thank my classmates, Pradeep Reddy, aka Krishnadev Rao, our head boy, Captain Preetham Matthew Philip, and Vasant Sagar Pandyanaraj for being here today. I am grateful to Sangeeta Jairam, our OLA coordinator, for making sure that I made it for the Investiture Ceremony. I would like to end with a couple of lines from Jim Morrison, who was incidentally the son of an admiral. Music is your only friend until the end. When the music's over, turn out the lights, and don't forget to close the doors. Thank you. Never given.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring speech. May we now request the headmaster to present a memento to the chief guest. Please rise for the national anthem. The audience is requested to remain standing while the newly elected prefectorial body, the chief guest, and the parents leave the large hall.
you.